Hi, welcome to Live Aid Liverpool 2023 podcast with me, Tony Cook, the creator and director of the event, which takes place at the Adelphi Hotel on Sunday, the 16th of April, supporting two important charities, Shelter Merseyside and Alder Hey Hospital. In the coming weeks, I'll be talking to some of the artists, the sponsors, and also the two charities all about the event. And with me today is the wonderful Lindsay Tilston Jones from Shelter. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm
You're
really
okay?
pleased to be here.
Yeah,
all
good. Shelter, tell me what the ethos of the Shelter is all about.
Shelter is a national charity and we fight for home. So our aim is to end the housing emergency, whether that be people who are homeless on the street, living in temporary accommodation, fighting with landlords, trying to find a home or make their homes habitable. Shelter's there alongside people fighting for home.
What year was it?
1966.
Wow, great year as well.
Right.
Since it started, how's the programme improved?
Oh, I wish I could sit here today and go, we're talking ourselves out of a job and Shelter doesn't need to be in existence. I mean, I would be talking myself out of a job and I'd love to. But unfortunately, we're in a different age and we're seeing different problems, but the housing emergency and the housing crisis is probably worse than ever. So back in 1966, we were seeing, slum conditions post-war, and people had been given that promise of social housing after the war, come back to a Britain that'll be built up and there'll be great housing for all, and it wasn't happening. And indeed, that's why Shelter came into being. A group of people got angry at the system and angry that the promises weren't being kept and that money was going to build houses, but they weren't affordable for people, or people were paying rent and there was damp and hanging off the walls. We're still seeing that today, Tony. It's heartbreaking to think, that in this city we're seeing people who are living in squalid conditions, in grotty B&Bs, in damp rented houses, whether that be social or private, with nowhere to turn. So, it's not all doom and gloom. We have had some really great successes throughout the years, and that's been about building rights for renters. So things like the Renters Reform Bill that's currently going through in the House of Lords. Where they're supporting with other charities such as Crisis and Centrepoint, are there working alongside that to really push that bill and make sure that it goes through. To ending Section 21, so no fault evictions. There's a bit of work to be done there, but we're certainly working towards a day where people will not be evicted from their home without fault or without good reason. To ending people who will not rent to benefit claimants, for example, and making that illegal. That now is illegal in the system. There are some loopholes still, but we're working towards making that happen. So Shelter have seen some great successes over the years. Okay. Still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Now, going back to the Live Aid Liverpool event itself, people will be asking, where does the money actually go to, directly from the Liverpool area,
Well, in Liverpool, we've got a lot of work going on and some brand new projects, which are really exciting to actually see, that we can really fight for home in this region. We have a hub, a really lively, vibrant hub that's based up in Anfield. That's got a big community space. And we have people who can drop in every day. It's open 9 till 5 for people to drop in to speak to one of our housing rights workers or one of our solicitors. And that's funded through a variety of different ways. So we do have some contracts with the likes of the local council and some other providers, but everything else comes through our charitable funding. So any money that's raised through amazing events like Live Aid Liverpool comes to helping us to be able to do more of that type of work in fighting for home here in Merseyside. As I say, people can drop in. They can go to, say somebody went to court, maybe one day and we're going had a possession hearing for their home, but they go to court without a solicitor representation because, it's expensive and it's hard and it's scary. We sit at the court desks in Liverpool, in Birkenhead and in St Helens across this region, and the solicitor's there every day where the possession hearing's taken place. So if someone comes without representation, a Shelter solicitor will chat to them and we'll go and represent them in court on that day, and we'll help people on that journey to remain in their own homes. Figures vary, but as we say, if we get involved at that point, we can stop possession orders on that day by 80%. So that's 80% of keeping people in their homes. Of course, if people come to us earlier, there's a better way of doing that. So there's that type of work. That is free at the point of need. We also have our housing rights workers who don't just sit in our hub up in Anfield, but will go out into different parts of the city and the region to go to where people have said there's a need for the housing advice and support. So they go to Toxteth and Granby, there's a big clinic there, and there's a big drop-in in town as well, where people can come in a few days a week and chat with our housing rights workers. Sometimes we can get people's problems solved on the day, so it might be as simple as writing a letter to a landlord or sorting out a complaint or a problem, to maybe going down the more complex routes. The money that's raised at this event will go to funding work like that.
That's great. Now, I know, obviously, with our event as well, are there any other things that Shelter do? You know, I've heard there's like a Strictly Come dancing event and a lottery or something like that. Is that right?
So good, yeah. We do so much stuff across the country because, you know, we need money, we're a charity, but also, you know, it's fun to get involved and help and be part of a charity, but also to feel that you're fighting for home as well. Maybe you've had personal experience of homelessness or housing issues and want to give something back, or indeed get involved. We have a lot of stuff nationally, like the lottery. So the lottery is a very simple one to play. You can join online. So if you go to shelter.org.uk and search lottery, you can find a really seamless way to sign up and a chance of winning £500 weekly. So not bad for a £1 stake.
Right,
and you're giving something back to charity. So
of course,
get the warm fuzzies there. But locally, we have a great fundraiser in the region called Pauline, who does the most amazing events.
She's amazing, yeah.
She's great. I mean, you know, I know you and Pauline have a lot to do with each other, but Strictly Come Dancing, or Strictly event up at the Titanic. I mean, it's great. It's an amazing sort of swanky big black tie event, but at the heart of it, we have contestants who give up their time and their energy and come out of their comfort zones for 3 months before that, training, fundraising, selling tickets, learning a dance alongside a professional dancer, and then performing it on the night. Often these are great. We've had some stinkers who are hilarious, but we've had mostly the greatest.
I mean,
dancers.
the Strictly thing is fun. It's a phenomenon now, isn't it? You know, the popularity is like massive, isn't it? You know, you see events all happening all over the show.
And that's it. And we've had dancers who like have been part of the Strictly journey, or they've danced on events over in America and stuff, and are real strong professionals. But we've also had judges. Pasha from Strictly has judged our last couple of events. So, as I say, it's one of those really unique, once in a lifetime things to get involved with.
Will you be coming to Live in Liverpool?
I will yourself? Indeed this year. I'm really excited to come and
bring your dancing shoes with you.
2 left feet, but we'll give it a try.
Well, is Pauline coming as well? Will she be coming?
She is, the mystery that is Pauline. We'll get her there.
Yeah, of course, Now, obviously, you know, with it being a live music event, do you have a preference in your style of music, or your favourite type of music, basically?
Oh, honestly, well, as you can probably tell from my accent, I am from these parts, but I am from over the water. Okay. So, I do. I was brought up on the good old Mersey beat. I had a cousin who had strong links in with Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Wow, okay.
And so a lot of our family time as youngsters was obviously pulling a lot of the Jerry and the Pacemakers tunes and getting there, so we loved that. But 90s kid myself, so I love a bit of the collar. So coming on from the old Wirral boys, that's where I'm from.
Well, going back to the event, and you just mentioned Jerry Marsden, one of the acts that is going to be on the Shakers, they're going to be doing a special sort of dedication to Jerry. So that's going to be one of the first acts on the bill as well. So that'll be a special moment, you know.
To that. You'll probably see me in bits crying.
As I say, we're covering music from a lot of eras as well, you know, 80s, 90s, you know, it's all across the board. Now, with the media, obviously, since I've been doing this for, nearly 2.5 years now, and when I first obviously chose Shelter, what I've found a little way is a bit of a taboo in regards to the media. So when you're sort of telling the media about the event and stuff, it's like what's the best way of putting it? It's like a bit of a restriction to sort of take a little step back from making it a prominent issue. Do you find that yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Housing and homeless is such a prevalent issue. And it's one that none of us can ignore, because we do see it on a daily basis. You'll go to Tesco or a supermarket, for example, and see somebody outside, maybe, you know, begging or asking you for money and stuff, and you'll be very aware of somebody who's street homeless. Yeah. But you might be aware of, you know, of members of your family who've struggled. Perhaps they've had a house repossessed, or they've been living in temporary accommodation, and there's so much stigma around that. And I think sometimes there's a reluctance in the press and media to shout about either of those issues, because it can often be seen as that person's fault, and it can be seen as a judgment against that person for, you know, what have they failed in, or what has happened to them. And actually, if you think about it, it could be any one of us. Any one of us at any point could have an unexpected accident or lose our job or, heaven forbid, lose our home and find ourselves in that position. And it isn't that person's fault, it's the system that's broken. And that's what we say at Shelter. You know, if there were more social and affordable homes, if there was better standard in the renting sector and more, I suppose, legal requirements around landlords and the like to do this, people wouldn't be in that position and wouldn't be fighting the system to just have a simple place to live.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I chose Shelter in the first place basically was, I mean, in our industry, the music industry, and what's the sort of saying is that, you know, everyone's only a paycheck or two away from being homeless. And in our industry, that was so relevant because I know lots of musicians, lots of friends of mine who were a few very, very close friends of mine that were very close to being on the streets, you know. So that was an important, you know, sort of, it was a perfect choice for me anyway to choose Shelter. You know, I've done my research on, you know, so there's lots of homeless charities out there.
Yeah.
So it was difficult not to include everyone, you know, I had to choose just one. So I'm glad I've chose Shelter, you know, and getting to know yourself and Pauline and the crew as well, the team. So have you got a message to everyone that's already bought tickets for the event and also those who are considering coming to the event as well?
Oh, well, first off, I mean, before I thank everyone else, I'd like to thank you, Tony. I mean, you've been an absolute joy. We've worked together for a few years now, and these events are spectacular and so important to us. And, you know, I thank you for choosing Shelter, but also be aware, you know, we work with a lot of other housing and homeless charities. So by choosing Shelter, you're not precluding any, you know, discluding any other charity. From that point of view, we do all work together.
Yeah.
But for everyone who's bought tickets, thank you. I look forward to seeing you on the night, and thank you for supporting such a great event, but also to such wonderful charities. You really are making a massive difference.
Okay, well,
to people who haven't, what's stopping you? Come on. I mean, you know, it's going to be a great night out, and you're supporting two wonderful charities. That's so, right. You know, what is not to love? It's win-win.
Yeah, that's right. Well, tickets are still on sale. You can buy them £25 if you go to the Eventbrite website, search for Live Aid Liverpool. The details are on the screen, or you can even scan the barcode, which is also on the screen. I'd like to take this chance of thanking Lindsay and everyone at Shelter who are going to be involved at the event. As I say, it takes place at the Adelphi Hotel on Sunday the 16th of April, and I hope to see you all there.
Liverpool.
Life in a B&B is horrible. It's worse than being in a real-life horror film. We have the smallest bathroom. The drain is always like manky. Sometimes you can hear like water gushing down. It can like give you the shivers.
Me and my sister Fabia live in a temporary accommodation. And down here where there's tin foil
is where the rats can get in. And duct tape.
And we duct tape these drawers together because the rats had been sleeping and eating our food from in there.
If I go over to the radiator and I feel it, it's boiling hot. It is boiling hot. Now I know that sounds quite nice, but when you're trying to go to sleep, it's so hot, it like burns you. And then in the morning, they just turn it off to like freezing. I can't sleep because of the heat, and I just boil up over there. And Harry, he doesn't like being woken up early when he hasn't got a good night's sleep, and sometimes falls asleep at school, don't you?
Yeah.
Has it affected your life at school?
Yes, it really has.
How?
Because basically everyone keeps thinking that I'm lucky when I'm late, when really I'm not at all, because I've just been like like moved over here and it's not at all nice.
I've been in this house for 4 months. 4 months. Do I like living here? Not much. Room small, house not built very good, and yeah, it's just a mess. Coming up is the kitchen. This mess of whatever this is. What did I saying? They didn't do stuff properly. And also my mum has to sleep downstairs and sleep on a beanbag. Yeah. And I'm being honest, I'm going to show you where the beanbag is. So this is Mum's beanbag. So get it down like that onto this floor over here.
I've just woken up and we're getting ready to go to school, and me and Harry have had an argument about who's going to sit on the chair, and we've just decided to share it so that we can both have breakfast.
When I'm at home and me and my sister argue a lot, then I don't really stay calm. My mum does help me calm down sometimes. She tells me that it's going to be alright and we're going to have a house eventually, and it's not going to be, we're not going to like, live on the streets soon.